Hey there, fellow travelers, YouTubers, marketers, everybody there. This is Mark from Wolters World, or Professor Wolters from Professor Wolters. Today what we're going to do is we're actually having a live feed on our Professor Wolters channel, so it can be a little bit more smaller, intimate group, so we can answer some more specific questions you want to have on here, because when we have our live feed on Wolters World, sometimes it gets a little unmanageable with all the questions going through, so I thought this was a nice way that we can kind of have a little more... not selective, but a little more, like, look, it's people that, they subscribe on both the channels. They want to watch it, shows up their notifications, so they can have those things there. So Josh will be down a little bit, so we'll start talking about some travel stuff. But I also thought this would be a good spot if you guys had questions about, like, what's it like, running a YouTube channel, or if there's business questions or things like that. I thought it's something we could talk about. So Native Gun, good to see you on there. Dominic, hey, good to see you come over this way. Josh and Anthony, good to see you all. Nice to hear from you. So I think one thing that we want to talk about a little bit today, in terms of, well, the business side of things, is actually we're working on a Shopify shop, where we're actually going to have products, like travel products, that you'd actually use. So we're designing some stuff now. We're trying to get some things made and put together. So hopefully we'll be launching about October 15th. The Shopify shop will be launching, which will have, it's not just shirts and stuff like that. We'll have the quarter zips you see me film all the time in and things like that. But what you're going to see are, like travel gear things. So we're going to have, the luggage tags. We're going to have, water bottles to help you, save, instead of buying 50,000, plastic water bottles while you're traveling, you can have one Wolters World bottle to keep with you, so we can have all those things together. And then we're trying to, we're going to be having, reusable, biodegradable plastic bags. So, when you have the TSA check and all those kind of things when you're going through, make sure you have a bag that you can use multiple times. When you decide not to use it anymore, it will biodegrade and stuff like that. So we're working on those things right now. And our chief creative director here, Jocelyn, is researching artists and stuff like that, so we can get some not just the Wolters World logo, but we're trying to find stuff that would be things that you'd want to wear, that are things that we would wear and stuff that we use and we do and things like that. And so you'll see kind of designs that are inspired by things that we talk about and how when we travel. So there'll be things like that. So Divertcode 1995, good to see you on here too. Janice, good to see you on here as well. So that's one of the things we're going through, and it's kind of an interesting journey, when you're on YouTube. Because I filmed a video on how YouTubers make money, because we get a ton of questions like, well, how do you pay for all these travels and all this stuff? And for those of you who don't know, like, those ads that show up on the Wolters World videos, those ads, we get like, you get like $3 or $4 for every 1,000 views, basically. Okay.
Like
yeah,
tenth of a penny.
And the thing is, when you do have that, it's not every view that gets it. It's only what they call monetizable views. So you might get 3 million views, but only 1 million of them actually could have advertisements, and then you get, $3 for every, 1,000 views. So there could be things like that. So that's something to kind of interesting to kind of look at. We thought we could talk some things about that. So, Janice.
No, they're not.
You gotta read the question.
Janice asked if our water bottles will have filtering. They won't, because those are really expensive. And so it was going to put them in a really high price point, and I just didn't want to do that. But they are double wall insulated steel bottles, so they do keep your drinks hot or cold.
Yeah. And that's the thing, is we don't want to have things that are like stupid expensive, because that's not really for everyday travelers. Like, we're trying to help out everyday travelers.
And it's not really what we buy.
Yeah, and it's not stuff we buy. Like, everything that'll be on the Shopify shop, that's why it's taken us a while to get it.
Stuff that we use and we approve of.
Yeah, and so we don't want to have things that we're like, oh, we just want to make money off these people, ha ha ha. No, we're going to make sure it's stuff that we use, that we think is valuable for other travelers to have. So, and we want to make sure it's right, so we got to test everything out and see how it's going. But there'll still be hiccups, but it'll be something that's on there. Michael Mon, good to see you on this side, buddy. I thought you'd pop over here. Appreciate the love on the Professor Wolters channel. Arm in Trieste, Italy. We love Trieste. Trieste is a fantastic place. I don't think enough people go to Trieste to go there. Actually, if you're looking for a nice place where you don't get a ton of tourists, Trieste is a nice way.
It's a very nice way to see
hop up to Slovenia from there, or you can go over to Venice relatively easily. So there's some nice stuff there. Yeah. Now, some other things we want to talk about. Hey Henry, good to see you on here, buddy.
Hey.
If you actually have travel questions, you can ask us travel questions here too, because I'm looking through here, and all these names over here, or if you're watching on your thing, it's probably over there. All these names of people we see commenting and writing quite often, and so it's nice to like kind of have more intimate chat session versus the random people I have to like ban from the side because they're making comments about my body or maybe someone else's body and stuff like that. So it's nice to have the team on here. Josh Lunt, good to see you. I said that hi before. Let's see. Your videos on both of your channels come up on my notifications, but I only really view the Wolters World videos. So I prefer that channel, but I came to this channel for the beard too. Thanks, Josh. and that's the thing is, we don't really expect people to come from a travel channel to a marketing or education channel or a business channel, and we totally understand that. I mean, the reason why I'm doing this here is because this is such a smaller channel. There's not as many, people that are popping over here. So this way we get to have a more, like I said, intimate chat with you. So don't worry, Josh. I appreciate the subscription over there, though. That's very nice of you, or on this channel. But I thought this was kind of a way that we could, get back to some of our buddies. Agnieszka, good to see you up there. I'm glad you like both the channels. Greetings from Munich. I'm actually editing the 10 Shocks of Munich video right now. Hopefully I can get it out for tomorrow because I know Oktoberfest is going and stuff. And I have that up there. And it's funny because I'm like, wow, I must have had a few drinks before I filmed this one. Because I don't even go, hey there, fellow travelers. Just, hey, I'm like, Grüß Gott. Hey, I'm in Munich. I'm like, whoa. I think we must have come out of the beer hall when I filmed that one. So that
happens in Munich.
Yeah.
More than other places.
Yeah. So it does happen. So that was kind of funny. So hopefully Agnieszka will have something for you here in a little bit. Jennifer in Wisconsin, good to see you. Dominic asks, how do you deal with large crowds in big tourist areas? And the thing is, sometimes
how do I deal with that, Mark?
Jocelyn gets overwhelmed.
I'm not great.
Yeah.
I actually try to go around the crowd. When I see the crowd, I look and I find where it is thinnest and I go to that area because I can't handle it. I hate being in the middle of all of that. And if I am in the middle of it, I tend to become not a nice human. I will stick my elbows out and I will use them.
Yeah. Well, when she gets run over.
Don't touch me when I'm getting run over because I'm little, but I'm feisty.
Yeah, and that's the thing is we'll actually try to stay away from larger groups, but sometimes you can't help it. Like we were in Munich once. Speaking of Munich, again, Agnieszka, we were in Munich and we came up out and there was a big rally going on and stuff like that, and like you couldn't go back down in the subway, so we had to get to our hotel and do this. So it was kind of like, I mean, I'm a bigger guy. I said, everybody get behind me. I'm just gonna.
He plows.
I plowed through it, not like pushing people. I'm like, I'm just walking, and people are like, I'm like. We're going that way, and that's what's going to happen. And that kind of got
between us usually is what we do, so that like Mark goes, and then Caleb and Liam, and the kids hold hands, and I hold. We kind of link up, but he is the mama duck, right? And just
and people, and sometimes people are like, "Hey," I'm like, "I know," but like, dude, I got to take these kids to get out of here, and they're like, "Oh, okay." And usually people are pretty cool with that with the kids. But there is those things to think about. Hey, in India, good to see you, man. I haven't seen you for a while, but honey. Good to have you on here. We are actually looking into our future India trips, so we're trying to think about what we're going to do on that. So we are heading that way. Frederick 9603, thank you for being a patron on Patreon. We do appreciate it. Frederick asks, why do you think your Patreon support community is minimal? I think that's an amazing method for supporting my favorite YouTubers. Yes, I'm one of your Patreon guys. Thank you very much. I think Patreon, I mean, how they sold Patreon to us as creators is like, look, this could be another revenue stream. This could be a way for your fans to help support you and help you through the rougher times and stuff like that. And we mentioned it like at the end of our videos, but I think other ones are like more forceful. Like I did a video on this channel talking about every YouTube intro ever, and you have these people that you start right away. Don't forget to like, subscribe, go to our Patreon channel, join our membership team, and they kind of like remind people. And so actually YouTube will tell you, make sure you tell people to subscribe. Make sure you tell people to like. So don't forget to like and subscribe, on this video. And they do that because people tend to forget. It's kind of like, when you're having a baby, they tell you, don't forget to breathe. You're like, I'm not going to forget to breathe. But people you forget to breathe. And so I think that's one of the things. And for Patreon, I'm trying to figure out, I never kind of figured out the right way to kind of like reward them. Like we do have it, like I'll send postcards to the ones at a certain levels, and then the others get like stickers and koozies and things like that. And so like, I'll send a thank you card here and there. And so there are some things we do, but sometimes it's like, hey, help us choose where we go. But I think one of the things
is really important to us.
The input is really helpful. And a lot of people ask us how we decide where we go. I'm like, we always let our fans, pick at least 1 or 2 trips a year. So, and that's one way I think that you all, because I mean, let's be honest, you that are on here today are really true hardcore fans. Like Henry Martinez, I think he paid for our kids' school with all the super chats he's given us on the air. And that's why I'm glad we're having this one, because this channel's not monetized yet, so Henry can't. He gets to keep his drinking money today. Okay, thanks, buddy. But I don't know why it hasn't really taken off. We have like 50 or 60 people on there, which is nice, and we really appreciate it. I also think that one of the things that might be that YouTube is kind of like they want people to go to YouTube memberships, which is kind of like a Patreon kind of thing. And they have it set up so if you have the membership thing, you can put on exclusive videos that are only for members. So what we might end up doing is having that membership thing and then like, you know, either close out the Patreon or give the links to our patrons so they can watch those videos too. Because I don't want to have it so patrons don't get it and members do and on the YouTube stuff. So it is a bit complicated. So I'm trying to figure those things out. But I know that y'all watching videos is the greatest support I can ask for, or we can ask for.
Yeah, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I want to address one. Device. How long should I stay in the Normandy region? I love World War II history and such. If you really love World War II, I think you need a week minimum, and maybe like a week to 10 days. Because if it's a passion of yours, you can. I mean, there will never be enough time because you can spend so much time there. But I think that you can have a very good overview in a week, and you can dig deeper if you've got about 10 days.
Yeah, because you have the Omaha Beach and that stuff there, and the memorial. If you go to the cemetery of Omaha Beach, man, that is just incredible movie. Then you got Saint Maria Église. That could be a whole day there. That's where the paratroopers came in. And you had the guy stuck up on the church. Bayeux's got a great museum, but also has the Bayeux Tapestry, which tells a history of England, with King Harold and stuff like that. And then you can go on the other side where there's like Sword Beach and Gold Beach and stuff like that. And you go to Honfleur. There's a German cemetery. So there's a lot of stuff to do, but there's also a lot of non-D-Day beaches stuff to do too. So you can go to like Rouen, which we love. It's got a lot of history with what's her name, Joan of Arc. So that's kind of a nice thing.
And part of the thing too is that it's hard to do too many things in one day because it is all so emotionally overwhelming. You can be very, very drained, and I think that it's hard to do more than one, maybe two things in a day because it's a lot on you emotionally.
Yeah. So any cyclist, please do attend Shocks at Lisbon Airport. So
it's way better than it used to be.
Yeah, it's way, way better. I actually did a paper on that years ago, before the EasyJet and Ryanair and all those airlines really came into Lisbon and like totally changed Lisbon. We did a paper on forecasting the growth for the airport, and they wanted to build a whole new airport out of town, and they were like, the numbers didn't justify it. Like, you don't have the money, and you're not going to the thing. But then, of course, then the whole low-cost airline revolution came, and so that our paper was no longer really relevant. But yeah, for those of you who have been to the Lisbon airport, it's kind of like take a medium-sized airport and then have a large airport number of passengers come in and then like build off a little bit on the side and like piecemeal growth.
It's like a quilt.
Yeah, it's like a quilt. And so it can be a bit frustrating. It can be a bit frustrating with the lack of space. But I find that
the signage and stuff is good.
Yeah,
like it's easy
better
to get around.
But 5 hours? Yeah, 5 hours. I'm sorry.
5 hours in the Lisbon. You could leave and you could go see.
Unless they had to do
something maybe.
Well, I guess if they were flying in, then going another place in Europe. I guess you'd have, because you wouldn't have to go through the passport control again. Because the passport thing there sometimes is like Paris, where the line gets really long for no apparent reason. So
for no apparent reason, but they have two people.
So Eamon too. Hey, when will you be passing through Manchester? I'll actually be there the end of winter this year. Well, not this year. Whatever. Like end of February. I'm going to be coming through there for a couple days on a trip, and so I'm going to plan to get York and Manchester on my next visit to England. So I'll be coming through, buddy. So we'll have those things there. Michael Mond, who's already taken off. Appreciate you stopping by, buddy. Really good guy. Thank you very much. SNW, what are your best tips for going on your first cruise? So one thing I would say, if you've already booked, this is different. But if you haven't booked, make sure you're reading to see who they're really targeting for that cruise ship, because some are for couples, some are for families, some are just for old folks and stuff like that, and you really want to see what's on there, and also see what's also included, because like if you're doing a European river cruise, you get dropped off in the middle of town, you can do their tour, or you can just walk around on your own and see stuff. But if you're doing like the Caribbean cruises, you might be dropped off at an island and the port's way up far from the city, and you might need to do their excursions. Their excursions, and the excursions, that's where they're making their money. That's where you really feel like you're getting. So if you're going to do excursions, if there's something you really, 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 really want to do, you can actually hire your own guides to do that, and they can take you around. So it's just you instead of you and your 50 best buddies from the cruise ship. So there are those things there. So I hope that helps a little bit.
Best buddies.
Yeah.
Henry. Right here.
Oh, hey, yeah, Hindu's back. Mark and Jocelyn, have you guys ever been to Moldova? Not that many tourists go there. Gabriel Trevor just went there and has great videos of that country. Yeah, Gabe's going a lot of good. He's getting the Central Europe, or sorry, the Central Asia and very far East Europe right now. He has some good stuff from there. Now, I've had students from Moldova, and they were very adamant about the corruption there. They're like, don't go because your money's going to go and be taken somewhere else. But if you do go, they're like, the churches is one of the most beautiful things you want to see when you go to Moldova. And maybe it's gotten a little bit better over the years, but yeah, it was kind of funny how my students were quite adamant about it. But they're like, look, our churches are fantastic though. So, but all these places are places we'd consider going eventually. Like, because we get emails and stuff like, hey, come visit us. I'm like, we'd love to come. It just depends on our timing and our scheduling. So that could be a thing there. Let's see.
Sleepy314. Are you from St. Louis? That's the area code, right, for St. Louis. We lived in Germany for 2 years, 50 years ago, with our 2 kids, 2 and 4. We found it to be the best place in Europe to see the sights with kids. Extremely helpful people. Has it changed? I wouldn't say it's super helpful. I honestly, with kids, I prefer Southern Europe because they don't have a lot of children there. Their birth rate is sort of low, so when they do have children, they're like much more excited to help you out and take care of the kids and do things like that. Germans are more reserved about things. They're helpful and they're polite, but they're not really outgoing about stuff with kids, in my opinion.
But I will say, in terms of like infrastructure for kids, like
Huge.
places for like on the subway or on the buses or whatever, where there's easy access with strollers and stuff like that. Northern Europe and Germany are way better than you're going to Italy and things like that. So it's kind of like how you want to do it. Like the people are better for traveling with kids in the south of Europe, but physically and infrastructurally, it's better when you're in the north. Right. Especially when you want to get like pack and plays and stuff like that with your kids. I mean, obviously your kids are a bit older now. Maybe your grandkids, you want to take them back. That could be something to think about. Catherine, I'm glad you made it. You made it on, and I'm glad that the letter and the other goodies came. Thank you, and thank you for being a supporter on Patreon. It really means a lot. Thank you very much. Amen too. Have you ever been to the Middle East? We have not been to Dubai or Bahrain or anything yet, but we are looking at it going there. It really comes down to a scheduling time.
It's killing us.
Yeah,
man. We'll get there, but
because one of the things. And this could be a business question as well in terms of scheduling. Because for businesses, you have to schedule when's your busy time, when's your low time, and that's one of the things we have to schedule. Like for a place like going to the Middle East, we want the kids to go with us. But the thing is when the kids have a lot of time to do those long flights and spend a lot of time to really know a culture, that limits us to summer. And I'm not taking the kids there in July when it's 120 degrees. No.
You know what kind of whining will happen when we do that?
That's for our sanity right there.
Yeah.
And so we were looking at, like, we thought about going this January actually, but we've had some family things that have come up, so we have to stay here for now. So we can't do that. So it's kind of like things get kind of pushed around because our oldest son, like our youngest son, we could take places and we can teach, but our older son, he's in 8th grade, or no, 7th grade. He's in 7th grade. Sorry, he's growing so fast. Sometimes it feels like it's going faster. And so with those classes, I don't want to take him out as much, or we don't want to take him out as much because we don't want to miss out. Like we can teach him this stuff, but we feel that, like he's got a great math teacher, right? So I'm like, that great math teacher is really helping him improve his math. So
huge.
So I'm like, I don't want to take him out more than I have to. So our longer trips have really been kind of.
And I just found out this week that if he is going to miss days of school and we know it, he has to get the work done ahead of time. So it's not like we can take it and do it on the plane like he used to for grade school. Junior high and high school, they require that you do it ahead of time. So, wow, that's a buster. That's tough.
Yeah, I just found that out just now. I'm like, all right, well.
Sorry.
Well, luckily there's only those 3 days that are coming up. So I'm like, well, this week looks like we're doubling up the math.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So Naomi Lynn Wells, thanks for all your videos, guys. We're first-time travelers from New Zealand. Beautiful place. And your videos helped us adjust before leaving for Asia and Europe. Yeah, and I'm glad that things like leaving your wallets out, because you know how like your wallet will get so thick and your phones now, I mean, remember when they were talking about getting the phones smaller and smaller and smaller? Now the phones have got starting getting bigger, and you don't want to sit with them in your pockets because it's uncomfortable, so you put it out on the table. Problem is, if you're like in a cafe or something like that, you don't even notice if someone walks by and just shoop, picks it up. So It is try to kind of tough. So Jimmy UK, you can ask us traveling or marketing or YouTube questions. It's not a problem. I'm just trying to make it so. I mean, it's funny. I'm looking on here. I'm like, I know all these names. This is so great. Like this is like having a like chat with friends versus the insanity when we do the Wolters World one, where just so many questions just fly by. We're actually getting time to answer and like spend some time answering. So Ian 2, Amsterdam or Rotterdam? Which of the two major Dutch cities do you prefer? I prefer Amsterdam. Rotterdam is cool, but it's just a step above. You know, it's like Amsterdam is just Amsterdam. So I would definitely recommend that.
I like Utrecht.
Well, yeah, but they didn't ask about Utrecht. The C even says which of the two major Dutch cities.
I know.
So, amen. There you go, buddy. So Jocelyn, will you ever go to Liverpool? Yes, we will. Eventually, we will get there. I know next year you're going to go. Or you're going to the Jane Austen Festival next year.
I'm hoping.
Yeah.
I've got some girlfriends that I think I've rounded up to go to Jane Austen Festival. Mark doesn't know that I want to buy a dress to do it too. I want to dress up.
Okay. That's fine.
No, not when you see the prices of the dresses.
Lovely. Anyway,
I'll make my own.
So the thing is, she's looking to do that and then have like another week with her friends going around England. It's like a girls' trip kind of thing. So I think she might get up there. I will send in my 2 cents about some of the videos she could make and give her some tips, and she can come up with her own stuff too. So it'll be nice. Let's see. So Josh asked something. Oh, that was Josh's. So Sean Bova, I don't know if the laws are different for credit cards where you are, but the first thing I would suggest is contact your credit card company and see if they can help with a chargeback.
Oh, that was for what do you do when the airlines go
Oh,
bust?
right. That's actually a good question. Sorry
Thomas
about that.
Cook did this last week or
whatever. Yeah, sorry. Josh Lunt, sorry, buddy. Mark, you should do a video on what people should do if travel companies go bust. Well, here's one of the things. Cry.
Scream.
One thing you do is right away realize, like, this is why you buy travel insurance, and a lot of times the travel insurance will be separate from the company that's selling it. Like, if you buy from Delta, at least sometimes I bought my airline insurance when I've been with Delta, it's through Allianz. So it's like, I buy the ticket through Delta, but the insurance is another company because it's an insurance company that has that. And the thing is, you might, they'll cover you to get back home or something like that, but it can be quite a pain to get your money back. There's a lot of things you have to do. Like, for example, my mom and I went to Scotland last month. Our plane broke. I mean, straight up broke. It wasn't. I mean, they had to drag it away from the gate, and so we didn't leave till the next day. Well, that meant we lost a day in a hotel that we had to pay for. Then we had to pay for a hotel in Indianapolis, and so when we're still filling out the forms. It was almost 2 months later, and they're like, "I got an email this week. We need the charge on your credit card shown that you paid it." I'm like, "How do you show I paid it? Because I pay all my credit card bills." And so I had to get this thing, got it, scan, put it in there, send it to them, and so hopefully we'll get it back in a few months. And that's the thing, is you'll be out money for a while. But the thing is they're going bankrupt. Like, you'll get pennies on your dollar or pence on your pounds for what you've lost. So it's really a tough one out there. That's why I always say buy travel insurance. But if you don't have it, like the UK government scheduled a bunch of flights just to get the travel get people back, and
helped out.
But you can't guarantee that. So that's why when you always want to have a credit card, there's a certain amount of the higher limit. You don't want to be like right at your bumper of your credit card when you go travel, just in case things like this happen.
You don't ever want to be at that anyway.
Yeah, so that can be a tough thing too. But some people don't have like huge credit limits. So like you maybe only have a $2,000 credit limit, and you're going on vacation. All of a sudden this happens. I mean, think about the people who spend all their vacation money to go there, and they burn through it all. And it's like, I got enough money to get to the airport tomorrow. We fly out, and they go out of business. So that is tough.
Ashley Reese. Watching from Bolingbrook, Illinois.
Oh, hey! I have a bunch of students that came from there.
Me.
Sorry, I get excited.
Okay. Looking for a great international location to take our 15-month-old son that's kid-friendly and has nice weather. That would be a plus.
Italy.
Do you have any suggestions? I would say Italy, too, but here's what I'm going to tell you, Ashley. At 15 months, I find the hardest time to travel with a child is between 1 year and 18 months because they're walking and they want to just go, and they don't understand that sometimes they can't. So be prepared, just have that in the back of your head that you're going to have to get up and let your kid walk, hold their hand and like walk them around and try to keep them chill as much as possible. So what I would do is I would get your shortest possible flights, like maybe from Chicago. So like do ORD to LHR to London Heathrow, because that's a fairly short thing, and then get out and like spend a day or something maybe just in London give him some time to play and sort of acclimate to the to the time change, and then jump on another plane and go to Italy, or something like that where it's nice and warm and they love children, and there's still a lot of stuff for you to do and places for him or her to run around and play. So just try to shorten the trips or the flights as much as possible when you're in that window of 12 months to 18 months.
And the thing is, you know, at under 2, they can sit on your lap for free. It's not free. If you're going to international, you got to pay for the taxes. So you got to let them know that that you're doing that, okay? Because otherwise, it's like, I know my brother and their wife, and they took their oldest daughter when she was little. They're like, oh, we're just going. And they got to the airport. They're like, you didn't register this kid. And so, like, luckily there was another seat on the plane because the plane can only hold a certain amount of people. But that can be kind of a thing. So you might look at using their car seat. Make sure it's FAA approved for their car seat for the car, and put that in. We've done that a lot with our kids when they're little,
and they sleep better.
Yeah,
then it's something they're used to. Like they're used to falling asleep in their car seat, right? And there's a great thing from gogobabies.com. Babies with a Z on the end, and it's like a telescoping handle, and you put it on to the car seat. And it's got wheels, and you can drag your kid around like a piece of luggage. Right over there. It's freaking brilliant. No, it's in the car right now.
Okay. So no, this is Henrik Wind. Funny that Alive on Professor Wolters' site is still about traveling. For me, it's interesting to hear about the YouTube world works. So Henrik, this is open to anybody. If you want to talk YouTube or marketing, or you want to talk travel, is anything that's out here, because we find that we could have a little more intimate chat on this channel because it's a lot smaller than Wolters World. So Henrik, if you have questions about YouTube or stuff like that, you shoot us some questions and we'll talk about that. Not a problem, okay? So don't even worry about it. So Dracula Nova writes, where do you recommend for first time visiting the American South? I have Charleston down, but not sure where else. Savannah, Georgia is good. St. Augustine. I'd go New Orleans is also good. Yep. So those would be the top ones for me.
There was one up here. I just wanted to... Oh, Catherine, I would love to see you at the Jane Austen Festival. Let me know if you go. You can message us, DM us on Facebook, and let me know if you're actually going. So that would be really cool.
So there were some other questions on here. Dang it, where'd it go? Was that, yeah. Okay, so Jennifer, also, this is about expat life, because we'll have videos about working abroad and stuff on here too. So that kind of goes to the Professor Wolters one. There we go. I've heard it's easier if you can work remotely or if you have a desired educational background, but how do everyday Americans do it without those lifestyles? I'll be honest, Jennifer, it is extremely difficult. Like getting work permits and getting living permits, or like you have to have a ton of cash to prove you can support yourself. So what a lot of people do is, like, if you look at people that go down to Costa Rica and live, they'll go for like 2.5 months, and they go to Nicaragua for a few days, and that resets their time in the country, and they do it that way to kind of get out of it.
Kind of jimmy the visas.
Yeah, they kind of jimmy that. They don't get the visa. They use the system to their advantage and do things like that. So that would be one thing you could look at. I mean, I don't know if it's super legal about it, depending on where you go, because technically you're only going to be 180 days. Like
some
in
are
Europe,
only 90 days.
Yeah, well, no, like in 300, like in 90, you can be 90 days out of 180 in a country, or in the Schengen agreement. So it can be pretty tough. So you want to look into that. And the thing is, there's tons of groups online, tons of Facebook groups that actually talk specifically for any country you want to like kind of retire to. Like there's a whole like expats in America, or sorry, American expats in Portugal Facebook group that just goes through these kind of things. So that would be something that would be helpful for you.
Wish we'd had them when we lived there. I could have used some friends.
Yeah. So let's see. I'm going to see if there's any business ones, because Henrik hasn't written back. Oh, you gotta let me know, buddy. So Jimmy McGowan, have you ever traveled somewhere during the Olympics? Some friends want to visit Japan next year and see some events, but I feel like it would be a good experience. So when you're going to go to any of these like major events, prices are going to be super high. Accommodation is going to be pricey and hard to come by, and you're never guaranteed getting the tickets because they probably already have the tickets out for the 2020 Olympics. So kind of like see where you can get tickets and then base your trip around that.
So, and when we went to Japan in November, we had a hard time finding places to stay. And we were there like during the week of Thanksgiving last year, I think, or was that 2 years ago? I don't know. It's it feels like 5 minutes ago. But anyway, it was kind of difficult then. So you need to book way, way, way in advance.
Yeah, and that's the thing is hotels will book 2 years in advance, no problem. But planes are only like 11 months out. But for the Olympics, you can buy your tickets now. Ashley, I'm glad we could let you know about the taxes for the international travel. That is one of the things. So when you buy your ticket, like if it's just you going, you'll actually do one. You'll select like one adult and then one child, and they'll give you an age range 0 to 2, 3 to 11, 12 to whatever, and you'll do the 0 to 2, and then you'll select like on lap or get their seat. And so that can help you out that way.
Todd Boothby, 2 weeks in Europe with only a personal item, 19 liters, Air France, Ryanair compatible, backpack, doable, reasonable. Absolutely.
I've done it.
And remember this, it might be 19 liters going over there. That doesn't mean that if you need another pair of pants or something, you can't pick it up and attach them or grab another bag while you're there, and then donate the clothes that you're, whatever you've got, you can donate to get back down to that 19 liters and get back home.
Mm-hmm. So Arnar, so good son, is that like a D sound with that letter there? I never know.
The what? Where?
Arnar. I'll just go Arnar. Arnar, are you never afraid that your connection might get messed up? It gets messed up all the time. Like if one of the airlines changed the flight schedule and won't make the connection.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it happens a lot. We have slept in airports before because of that.
Not with the children. We always get a hotel room with the children.
That's true.
As adults.
Well, we've had it when we were staying for 10 hours in an airport because the connections were messed up. But like if it's overnight, yeah, we'll go get a hotel. What we always try to do is, if it's going to be a tight connection, I always see is like, what's the next flight? And so I'll get the flight that I booked, and then I'll be like, if there's another one after, I'm not too worried because if I don't make that connection, then they'll put me on the next one. I'm fine. But if I know it's like, man, there's only an hour, like there's 35-minute connection and there's no other flights after that, I'm not going to take the chance. Like we were supposed to go to Savannah a few weeks ago, and our flight got delayed. And then another plane broke. August was a bad month for us for planes.
Rough time.
So like they're like, oh well, we'll get another plane here and it'll get to Atlanta. And I'm like, yeah, but it'll get us to Atlanta after the last Savannah flight. So it was kind of like, you know what? Forget it. We're not...
The 3-hour drive from Atlanta to Savannah is sucky, especially like that late at night. We would be exhausted because
yeah,
it's an awful drive. So we decided not to go.
Yeah.
Also, hurricane a coming.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, that's why I'm always looking for what are the other things. Even if I'm doing like train travel, I'll always try to get. I'll also try to get make sure I know when the next couple trains are, the ones before.
Try never to be the last flight to somewhere. That makes it easier, and it just takes a little bit off your mind.
Thanks,
somebody
Honor.
was asking about travel to. So there's two people sort of asking. It's stop moving. Oscar and Eamon Tube about Andorra, Luxembourg, Monaco, Liechtenstein. Those what about travel to? We've done some micronations videos.
And the thing is, since they're micronations, usually means there's not a lot to see. It's a quick kind of thing. I mean, some of them aren't even a weekend. If you go to Luxembourg City, there's not a lot to see. You can see the dentures, and you can see there's a museum there. And if you're lucky, maybe you can go up and see the castle up on the hill. But it's more like you go to those to say you went there. Like going to Monaco, wow, you see really expensive yachts and lots of money, and there's the aquarium there is nice. You can see the casino, and so you kind of find there's these little things. Like San Marino is really cool to check out, but it's most people are staying in Rimini and for the beach stuff, and they go for a day trip there. Yeah. So it's interesting that those places, those micronations, since a lot of people don't spend the night, you really have that whole nation to yourself if you spend the night there.
Spend the night and spend a couple of days there, it's all yours, right?
Yeah. So Henrik, I'm glad you followed us on Wolters World for a long time. It was just recently I found Professor Wolters. I've already learned a little bit about how YouTube works in other medias. I'm glad, and that's what I kind of wanted with the Professor Wolters Channel. Is when I put it together, part of it was I wanted to put videos out for my students I have for my day job, but also I wanted to help out other YouTubers because there's questions that I always had that no one ever answered, or they'd answer it in such a way that well, obviously you should know this, and I'm like, no, you shouldn't. That's why let's help people out. So that's where we tried to start doing some of those. So I'm really glad to hear that it's helping out, Henrik. That's really nice to hear.
Amar said that funny D that we don't know how to pronounce is a TH.
Yeah, I said thank you.
Oh, I didn't hear that. Sorry.
So Naomi Lynn Wells, Mark, aside from social media marketing, what tips, advice do you have for reaching young people in new, innovative ways? I think one of the things I think is best if you're looking to teach anyone, they have this thing called WIFINs. What's in it for me? Anytime you're talking about a topic, you got to find a way to relate to your audience. And the thing is, like for me, when I teach my students, I know when they're college students, I want to talk about college issues. I want to talk about their college life. We'll talk about, tuition. We'll talk about the bars. We'll talk about, whatever social media stuff that they use, and we use those examples. But when I talk to bigger professional clients, when I'll do trainings for like banking executives or insurance executives and stuff like that, I switch the topic to make sure look, you're here for your job, so I'm going to use examples from your job. What's in it for you? You're going to learn how to do your job better. And so I kind of do those things. And that's the same thing with millennials or zillennials or whatever, the Generation Zs and stuff like that. If you find something that people can relate to, you can get into, and you can touch them, because even if you use social media, if you're not using what they call value proposition that reaches out to them, that helps them, they're not going to listen. I mean, they'll listen to me because I'm giving them things that are going to help them. Because someone's like, why would anyone listen to me? Well, you're giving helpful information. So if you kind of figure out what's really connecting with them and what's important to them, that makes it a lot easier in terms of reaching out to them. So I hope that helps. Ian, rank the 4 main Swiss cities from best to worst, or least best. I would go Geneva, Zurich, Basel, Bern. That way.
I don't know. I haven't been to Bern nor to Basel.
So Ward van de Velde. Hi, Mark and Jocelyn. I love the travel videos. Thank you. Hopefully you'll love the business videos one day. What's your opinion on Belgium? Greetings from Ghent. So for me, we always tell people, don't bother with Brussels. Go and enjoy the rest. Like, they're in Ghent. They're in one of the awesomest, best places to visit, small towns to visit in Europe. Ghent is fantastic. And Belgium has a lot of these small, fantastic towns you can visit. So that's definitely one of those not big city things. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, there's some cool big cities that, you go to Antwerp and stuff like that. They're cool, but like, that's where you're going to go see some of the small towns. World War I museums and go see the battlefields and Flanders Fields, or go to those, go to Ardennes. There's some nice things there. So,
Todd Boothby says, Jocelyn, thanks for your helpful video on washing clothes in the sink. I'm really glad it helped. You wouldn't believe how many people wrote us and said, like, thanks a lot. Like, it's those little everyday tips that sometimes people don't know when they go somewhere for the first time, or they're trying to figure out how to pack lighter and pack less. So I'm really glad it helped.
So Catherine C., obviously to Jocelyn in this question. Jocelyn, how do you manage to stay in shape? Whenever I travel, I tend to gain a few pounds. Me too. If I never traveled, I'd look like her.
You know what? I don't overindulge. Part of it is that I try to eat and pay attention to when I'm full. So I might get smaller things. I might eat more things, but smaller portions of things. And you know what, honestly, like, I do a lot of push-ups randomly in the room, or squats or something, just like some body weight exercises. We do a lot of walking.
Yeah.
And what I've been trying to do lately, and I fail a lot, but the rubber band doohickey, you would not believe the amount of exercises you can do in like 15 minutes. Super high rep training is what I try to do with that rubber band. So like, 50 curls or something, and just do like all the major muscle groups and be done. And then you're walking 5 miles, so that helps.
Mm-hmm.
Drink a lot of water. Drink a lot of water.
Because the water really helps. I mean, I've lost like 45, 50 pounds since last March. You can't tell. Because I can tell. You can, of course you can. But I still have a ways to go. But I mean, that was one of the things, is filling up on the water. That's one of the reasons why our Shopify shop will have the water bottle. Because I'm like, look, knocking back the water really helps you. Look, it's easier for me when I'm full on water to let the kids have the gelato. And I'm like, you know what? I'm okay. I'll have a bite of your gelato, not my own gelato. So that's something that's kind of helped me lately in my weight loss kind of stuff. Christopher Sanders, who is my audience and what will their action be? That is exactly right. That's what you want to think about anytime you're trying to sell something or talk to people or educate people. Think of who that audience is and what's going to work with them. So that's a really good one. Joel, thank you very much for the compliments on the videos, and my lovely wife. She's very nice. Let's see. Da-da-da-da. Yeah, Janice says her favorite thing is to pack bands as well. You'll be amazed how much you get, and they don't take up much space. That might be something we look into to put into the Shopify shop.
Oh, that's
some
a
exercise
good idea.
bands, because that's one of the things people don't think about.
Yep.
Because I mean, even I forget them a lot of times.
And
I'm
actually,
like, oh.
you know, the flat bands without the handles
Yeah.
would be even better for packing because those
See?
handles are a pain.
This
in
is
my
why
ride.
this is why we do these things with our buddies here.
See
You guys
what y'all
help
do.
out.
Thank you. You help
Yeah.
us to think outside what our immediate, you know.
Okay, so Dominic asking, what tips do you give people who want to travel during, on, or around Christmas? My family's thinking about going to Poland next Christmas. Okay, so if you're going to go around Christmas time, realize from the 15th of December to like the 8th of January, prices are on the high season prices. So if you go before or after and those kind of things, that can help out. If you're going to go to Poland, know that most of the Christmas stuff will disappear like the 25th. So if you want to get the Christmas feel, excuse me, you got to go before Christmas. Afterwards, it kind of all poof goes away. Also, if you're looking for cheaper flight dates, actually the 25th is sometimes cheaper than flying any other time because people are rather want to be with family on the 25th versus traveling on the 25th. It's the same thing on Thanksgiving in the U.S. If you're flying on Thanksgiving
and open
Day,
your gifts on the plane.
Yeah,
everybody gets one tiny gift and that's it.
And that's another thing. If you travel the holidays, you know, when we travel at Christmas time, we tell the kids like, look, Santa can't bring as much stuff because we're going to be traveling around, and so Santa will leave a couple gifts at the house, and so there's a lot less of
They get one or two little things when we're traveling.
Mm-hmm.
There's one I wanted to answer. Richard, hi Mark, I'm from Canada and Berlin tomorrow.
Oh,
what
yes.
would be your favorite museum there? I know you love Berlin.
The Pergamon Museum.
Yeah, Museum Island has
Pergamon
the Pergamon
Museum. Yeah, it's got the Pergamon altar, the gates of Babylon. It's all the stuff from the Near East and Middle East. It's phenomenal.
Outrageous good.
And it's on Museum Island because on Museum Island you have four major museums, and the cathedral are right there. And then across the way you also have the palace they rebuilt. But the Pergamon Museum is my favorite.
And the architecture of the museum, Schinkel did a bunch of stuff there, and it's really high end architecture too.
Yeah.
If you're into that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I see what you were saying. Thanks, Joel. That's nice of you.
and thank you, Catherine, for the you're always in good shape. I'm always in a good mood.
I don't know that I'm always in good shape, but
I'm in a good mood. Thank you, Two Brothers Production. Good to see you on here too, buddy. Thank you. Okay, this is a good one. What's the tightest connection you will do when booking St. Louis to London Heathrow? There was a 35-minute connection in Minneapolis, St. Paul. Was using points, so limited choices. 35 minutes seems so risky to me. Yeah, for me, it depends when I'm traveling and what airport I'm going through. Like, if I'm going to Atlanta and I got 45 minutes, I'm okay. Because I know I'll get off the plane. I will never gate check a bag. Like that kind of thing, I'm not gate checking because if I can put it above, it's fine. But if they make me gate check and then you got to wait for your bag, you're screwed. So what we'll do in those 45-minute ones is like we just check our bags and then we get off and we just go straight to the airport train and then get to the other thing. But that's because Atlanta has its security. Like the train is on the good side of security. A place like Chicago, you got nothing.
No, but MSP isn't too bad.
No, it's not bad. Yeah, it's just like you just gotta make sure you follow the right signs to get where you want to go.
Yeah, but
that's still gonna be tight.
They were doing a bunch of construction, but I think 35 minutes just isn't quite enough.
Yes, Naomi, we're looking to go to New Zealand for Christmas, not 2019, but 2020. So we'll be there. Don't worry. We know we got a lot of fans there. I think we might even try to do a meetup when we get down there too, because for as small the population it is, we have gotten a ton of really great fans from there. So we'll have something there.
Simon Cross, are you planning on doing any winter travels? We are. Nothing really crazy like over Christmas. Usually over Christmas we do a big trip, but we've decided to host Christmas for our family this year, so we're not going to do anything like astronomical yet.
Yeah, so there's that. We will have other winter things later on, like we're going to El Salvador. Liam and I are going down to Alabama because we're going to Alabama for the space camp, and then we got some other things, New Orleans, but no like really big ones this year at least. So there's that. Yeah, so Dracula Nova, the Deutsches Historisches Museum is also worth it if you're interested in German history. Yes, that is good. Another good German history museum if you're down in Nuremberg. That's a really good one there too. So Henrik, thank you, Henrik, for spamming your friends. It says, I'm not a YouTuber myself, but find it interesting. I have some friends who tries, so I spammed them with links from Professor Wolters. Thank you very much. So, like, we have a bunch of videos that'll go on. If you've probably seen, like, typical intros, you'll see in the good and the bad of that. Well, also, like, does it matter if you click like? Well, actually, if you click like or you just a nice little comment on your on any video on a YouTuber you like, it means a lot. One, the especially with a smaller channel, like you're like, is it worth it for me to do this? And you get some nice comments. It kind of inspires you to keep going on. Also, comments and likes for YouTube, they see that, oh, people are interacting with this. They call it engagement rate. We see that this video is getting a lot of engagement. Maybe we need to like show it to more people because it's getting such good engagement now. And so they have these things. So that is cool. So thanks, Henrik.
Trini,
read the question.
I was going to.
I want to get a drink.
Dude.
I love you.
Bossy McBossenstein. Trini, Jocelyn, any suggestions for saving your hair from sun damage when traveling to warm places? When I travel, we're gone for a long time. There is no saving my hair, especially when it was really long. I mean, I cut 13 inches off of it and that's changed things.
Then she cut like 13 off mine.
You're fine. He's really mad at me about that.
She ruined my Fat Thor costume.
Okay, so what I have taken, I got a little tiny thing of keratin treatment and just put that in your hair in the morning. There are some that also have some SPF stuff in them. I think the SPF stuff makes your hair look kind of greasy, but I did find that keratin stuff was really helpful. I also really like to get my hair cut when we're traveling. I think it's fun.
And the boys do it too.
Yeah, the kids, what they got their hair cut in Italy this year. I mean, I've gotten my hair cut in China. I've gotten my hair cut. I get it cut in France almost every year. So, you know, don't be afraid to go get a little trim somewhere if your hair is getting kind of cracked, like, you know, nasty.
So, Utsav Festival. Hey, Mark, I know this is on Wolters World. Actually, it's on Professor Wolters, so you're okay. We're just having over for a little more intimate setting. So, I just want to say thank you for being such an awesome professor. Someone's getting bonus points. I can't believe how you can keep our attention so long, but it's impressive. Thank you. Well, that's really nice to hear. Thank you. I'm glad I can do something. I try to make it interesting for y'all. I know some of the topics are pretty brutal. I'm just going to warn you right now. Tuesday's class is the most boring class of the semester. So, like, if you're going to take one of those like free passes, that would be the day to take it. Okay, because I got the videos online. You can just like speed it up through. Just give me the heads up. But thank you so much for that nice compliment.
I want you to read Harry's any hidden gem cities to visit in the U.S. He's from the U.K. Not the typical New York, L.A., Vegas. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So New Orleans. Like, I love the South. What it's not, but a lot of international people aren't going there like those big three. So New Orleans, Savannah, Charleston, St. Augustine, you can do a nice little. It's kind of nice in the U.S. because we're so big to try to find a regional thing.
Yeah.
You could do like, you know, what do we do out west? Like you could do Tucson, Phoenix. Maybe you could even zip over and do.
Well, you do the Grand Canyon.
Right.
You go to New Mexico, or you can go up to
the crater.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do a little
National Park or National
Winslow
Monument.
and do some Route 66 stuff. So like make yourself some small little just draw, like find a region and concentrate on that. That makes it a little bit easier. And also like the New England area is great and it's easy to get around and see a lot of different places. Like Mystic, Connecticut is one of my favorite places. I absolutely just love it. It's picturesque as all get out, but you can go over to Rhode Island really easily. I mean, there's just, you know, Maine is a great place too.
Yes, Maine is fantastic. And that's the thing is...
And all of those places are sort of off, like Bangor, but then there's... Camden and...
there's Belfast.
What's the park I'm thinking of? Acadia. Yeah, and you can get all that done in a short amount of time.
Yes, and the thing is for the Hidden Gem US, you have to have your own car. So if you rent a car and you're kind of exploring a region, you'll be able to find a lot of small towns to check out. And sometimes it's just, you know, like if you're doing the Route 66, the old Route 66, you get off the main highway and get on the old Route 66, and you're coming down, you go stop in this little town to have lunch, you'll be on the square, there might be a little museum there or something like that. You can go see, like, oh man, it's like old time America. You're like, oh, that's kind of cool. You get back on the road, and so it's, you know, half day visits or afternoon visits and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So there is some stuff there.
You know, America's really great for that. Small town America, get off the interstate and do the back roads, because there's always an old highway that follows the interstate, and so if you get on that old highway, you get to see some really great little places.
Mm-hmm. So Viking Turtle asks a question. I want to visit Sweden's southern and west coast. I have no interest in Stockholm. Would you think it would be best to fly into Oslo, Norway, or Gothenburg? Either way, I mean, I actually really like Gothenburg. I like Gothenburg a lot. Like, that town's worth definitely visiting on its own. It's a great place. So I would definitely make sure that you're going through Gothenburg when you're there and see some of the stuff. But since there's so much nice stuff to see in Norway as well, I mean, you could fly to Gothenburg, fly to Oslo, or do something like that. So you'd be okay. And that's for anything. Like Viking Turtle brings up an issue. Is a lot of people are like, look, I want to go visit New York, but I don't want to go to New York City. Like, how do I visit the other stuff, like the other places? You can always look for alternate airports. Now, you probably have to spend more to get there on the bigger airlines and stuff like that because it's more and there's less kind of connections. But sometimes it's worth it just to save the headache of not having to drive out of New York City. Otherwise, I fly into Buffalo instead, so I can go to Niagara Falls and see the Finger Lakes, and I can go up and see upstate New York. Canada. So yeah.
Simon Cross. I'll be in Ireland. Can you just do that? Because I don't have an answer for that. But
okay, Simon Cross. I'll be in Ireland for another month in January on an internship. Very cool. In the Cudamora area. I'm not sure where that is. Any tips for traveling on the off season? So Ireland, if you're doing an internship, you probably can't rent a car yet. Well, you can, but you'll pay an upcharge for being under 25. But there's enough buses and stuff like that in Ireland. You're not going to have any problem. You can pretty much go see anything you want in Ireland because they're used to not the best weather all year round. And so you'll be okay. And it doesn't really snow there. It just rain when it does happen, so you should be okay. Trinium, Aurea, Mark, what is the one travel question you are tired of being asked? I don't know.
You know the one I don't like being asked is what's your favorite place? And the reason I don't like being asked I don't mind that people are asking and I understand why. It's just that I don't know that I can always narrow it down. I can tell you one or two places on each continent maybe, but it's a really hard question to ask because everywhere is so very different that I think that's the hard one. It's not that it annoys me, it's just a hard thing to answer.
Yeah. For me, I mean, it's a similar kind of thing. So,
Amen Tube, how is intercity coach travel in the U.S.?
Long, interesting.
Not always safe.
Not always the most safe. I remember Greyhound.
Rent a car.
Yeah, I mean, it's cheap. I mean, you can do it, but
I wouldn't make a habit of it.
It's not like in Europe where you can do the buses are pretty nice and up to date, or like in South America where you have to do the buses and there's multiple types. I mean, they'll get you to where you want to go, and I would not expect much more than they'll get you where you want to go.
It's a means to an end.
Yeah, but the thing is, for a lot of people, that's the only way they can get around because they can't afford a flight or something like that. So it's something to look into. I have a lot of students. I mean, we'll take the bus up to Chicago occasionally for some stuff, or I'll take it to the airport.
So and on that note, I kind of prefer the mega buses and things to the Greyhound. I find that the buses, the private companies, other outside Greyhound's private too, but you kind of think of that as a massive thing. The smaller regional ones tend to have nicer buses, and they're more on time, and that time thing is important to me.
Yeah. Albert Wong, any tips on places to visit in Memphis besides Grayson and Memphis Barbecue? Only will be in Memphis for one day. With only one day, go to the National Civil Rights Museum. That is actually in the hotel where Martin Luther King was assassinated. It is one of the best museums in the U.S. to go see. It is extremely moving. They've done a fantastic job. You can actually walk down to it from Beale Street because you're going to go to Beale Street and listen to blues music there at night, okay, and get some live bands. Have some what they call big A beer, like big, huge beers and stuff like that. So when you go there.
That was a huge thing. Caleb was young, and it so impacted him. That was a really great experience for him, the museum. That was awesome. Todd Boothby, stop by Jonesport, Maine. Okay, I want to do this now. Have some clam cakes, rake blueberries. I want to rake blueberries and go lobster fishing.
That's cool.
Can we do that?
You can do whatever you want, baby. I'm not going to stop you.
Thanks.
It's your party. I'm just here.
That's right.
So, what are some other things? Let's take some non-travel things that you guys might want to ask about. Like, is there anything you've wondered about with all the, because obviously you all watch YouTube, you subscribe to YouTube channels. Is there anything you'd ever want to, you ever see another YouTuber do something you want to know about? Like, why do they do that? Or here's one of the tricks I like to watch. Look, I'm actually putting a video together about this because people ask me, why are all these videos 10 minutes, 15 seconds and stuff like that? Well, the reason why, here's a little secret. You'll see that YouTubers will put a little bit extra in some of their videos just to get over that 10-minute mark. Because once you get to the 10-minute mark, they can put the ads not just at the beginning and at the end, but also in the middle. So once you go over 10 minutes, they automatically, when it's monetized, they'll put a commercial somewhere in the middle. YouTube chooses that. But if there's more than one commercial in it, and it's under 20 minutes, then that's actually the YouTuber putting more commercials in there. on their own. So they're the ones, they're like, oh, it wasn't us stuff. They got like 3 or 4 commercials during the video, not just the beginning or the end. That's them doing it. So it's like 10-minute marks when you can actually put videos in there. So that's kind of an interesting thing.
Simon Crass for the
professor.
Yeah,
that would be
room.
me.
I know. I was just trying to read it so you knew where it was.
Yes, I can.
I realize
Simon
you're
Cross.
a professor.
I can see Simon Cross right there. For the professor in the room, what do you suggest for a business major? I'm 17, applying to college, and I'm battling between a bunch of different business degrees. Which seems most versatile? Okay, so the most popular business degrees you'll see are marketing, finance, and then maybe accounting and stuff like that. What I would do, what I recommend to all these students, because I actually am the director of the undergraduate marketing program where I work, we actually had this talk this week at our school, and I tell students, I'm like, look, I got 500 students in front of me. I'm like, look, do the basic courses, like do the intro to marketing, do the intro to accounting, the intro to economics, finance, supply chain management, operations management. Get all those basics once, and which one really calls to you? Like, like for me, I mean, I went to accounting, like this isn't for me. I went to another accounting, this isn't for me. I went to econ, wasn't for me. I went to marketing, I'm like, yes, I love this. This is cool. And I went to finance, I'm like, man, I love that too. I ended up getting degrees in these fields because they called out to me. So that's one thing I would recommend. Don't just go in and think, well, they're ranked highest in accounting, so I'm going to do accounting. What you want to do is, that could be a way to start, but really have an open mind your first couple of years in college. If you start in the business school, and then when you have to choose, like after your sophomore year or something like that, when you finally have to really choose, that's when I recommend you're like, you know what, get some of the basics out of the way so you have a rough idea. Because I have students that'll come to me and they didn't take marketing, because I teach marketing. And they'll be like seniors, like first semester, senior year, taking my course. And they're like, oh, I wish I would have taken this earlier. I'd rather be a marketing major than something else. And I'm like, well, it's too late to switch now because you want to spend another $50,000 for another year, just being on campus and stuff like that. So I'll tell them, like, look, if you want to get into marketing later, here's some classes you could take next semester that'll give you some marketing background that'll go with your finance degree or your supply chain degree and stuff like that. But I think it's really important for you to get a taste for all the different majors for you before you make the decision, because what might seem cool now might not seem cool later. So, and realize once you start your job, you can always switch fields later. So it's not like you're stuck being an accountant for the rest of your life or a marketer for the rest of your life. I mean, because I have my master's is in economics and management science. My PhD is in management, and by my undergrad's in marketing. And I worked as a branding consultant. Like, you can end up going all over the place. So that's really nice. So give yourself that opportunity to try out different stuff. Sorry.
Jimmy McGowan asks, do you know how trending videos are determined?
So trending videos on YouTube, one, you've got to be a topic that a lot of people are talking about. So even if your video's not super popular per se, if it's a topic that's really popular, those are more likely to get on trending, because that's why you'll see more, Christmas stuff will come up. But the thing is, now if you look on trending on YouTube, most of the time it's going to be like James Charles. It's going to be some kind of makeup thing, will be a few of them, and then there'll be music videos is the big thing that's on there too. And so YouTube, that's why a lot of people think YouTube is no longer YouTube, it's more company tube, because you see a Jimmy Fallon or Saturday Night Live or something like that will show up on trending that way. And it's less of the smaller YouTubers that are getting to pop up on there. So it's really tough. We've actually been on trending in a few countries, but we've been trending in Finland with our Finland video. So that got us in there, but we never really trended in the US, but in other countries we have, because we had a topic that a lot of people were talking about. They wanted to talk about Finland in Finland, so it got suggested that way. So the thing is, you'll get a lot of different reasons why how YouTube comes up with their trending. They don't ever really say exactly, but when you kind of look through what's there, it seems like whoever's just watching the most on this topic they're talking about, that kind of pops up in there.
Lori Sims, first time question, long time viewer, love videos, but I didn't see the question.
Which one's she?
Up here. But thank you for...
Lori Sims.
Yeah, right here. But I didn't...
There it is. Think of flying into Munich and traveling outwards like a wheel spoke for 2 to 3 weeks. What's the best direction to go? Oh, so wait, do you mean stay in Munich the whole time and go out like this? Or do you mean start in Munich and then go like this and come back around? So let me know. Stay in Munich the whole time or travel around the whole time? Let me know. Then we'll answer your question in a lot more fullness.
Catherine, have you ever thought about recording full-on vlogs on a regular basis? We tried to do one.
Well, we do have 2 or 3 travel videos that come out every week, every Wednesday and Saturday, and occasionally on Sundays.
Like a vlog?
Well, we actually filmed with our phone. We filmed our travel day to New Mexico. I have to put that together.
It was terrible.
It's terrible.
Catherine, we super suck at that. I'm all awkward and weird and the whole thing was just
The thing
not
is,
cool.
and we have tried before, because you're not the first person that's watched our videos that asked us about doing vlogs, because we've actually done a few over the years, and they get like no one watches them. Like it's just like it's the amount of work we put into to try to like vlog all the different stuff we're doing and put it together, then talk on this and edit together. The amount of work it is, and then no one watches. It's kind of like disheartening, and so that's why we're like, no, we're just gonna stick with our kind of like presenter thing of like, here's our don'ts of going some places. Here's this. Now, we did do the one.
And let me tell you why I won't do it. Because I really, like, we're walking through the Atlanta airport and Mark's got his phone in my face, like, expecting me to talk about something. And
she doesn't do well with that.
I'm very uncomfortable with that. I don't like to be the center of attention in a public place. I do not, like, you will never see me being the couple that, like, throws the blanket down in front of the Eiffel Tower to pose for the Instagram picture.
And we've seen that many times.
I'm just like, I just want to walk through and I want to go to Chicken and Beer and get my chicken and my cocktails and Mark's. Like, I'm not comfortable with people watching me do stuff like that all the time. It's just, I don't know.
So Naomi actually is kind of going along with this topic, and she's like, hey, we watch your videos because with other people's travel videos, they try and hide the BS with flash music and they're all the same. And this is another thing that we do. Like, no, I'll be honest. This is one thing that, I mean, there's tons of competition in the I mean, it's a marketing video, so we should talk. There's a lot of competition in the travel video industry. There are tons and tons of people that make travel videos because anybody can make a travel video. The threat of entry is very high because anybody, you have your camera, you can make a video. And I'll be honest, there's people who do much better, like more beautiful videos than us, better cinematography than us. But I'm not going for cinematography. We're not going for like beauty. We want to show you the places, but we want you to understand, like, look, honest information. Like, this is what you need to know to go there. Like, that's why I'll see a lot of travel vloggers that will get their views, their videos get a ton of views the first week because their fans watch them. But then no one watches it later on because you're not learning anything from it. Like, we try to make it so we have videos that's still in our top 10 that we made years ago because it's still information that helps people. And so I do see people that'll use, especially drone footage. Drone footage drives me crazy. One, it does look gorgeous, but you're never going to see that when you're traveling. And two, think about you're at a national park or you're someplace and someone's drone and you're trying to enjoy someplace and the drones are going around, and then what they end up doing in their videos is they have their like 10 minute and 15 second long, because they got to get the extra ad in, long video, and 5 minutes of that is just beautiful. I mean, it's beautiful drone footage flying around, but of course they put the music over the top, and you're like, okay, am I going to learn something here?
I get way too bored with that.
I get way too bored, so I just skip out. That's why a lot of people ask me, what travel vloggers do you watch? I'm like, there's not a lot I watch because a lot of them waste my time, and I want to learn about the places, and that's why the vlogs are more people showing how they're enjoying the thing, which is cool, but we want to show you how to, like, what you should know before you go. We want to leave
it open for you to do it your way, but we want to give you the background information that you need to know before you go or while you're there. On that drone thing, I saw a picture on Instagram today, and there was an eagle that had caught a drone. Like, it was like full on in its claws, crushing the drone, and I was like, oh, please, I want to do that. That's terrible. I'm such a bad person.
It's okay. So Jennifer Olson, I think everyone should take an accounting class. I'm an accountant, so no bias, of course. Working at a firm that serves small business, but it's so important in business. And it's true. That's one thing. Even if you're not a business major, I think it's important for you to take some business courses because accounting is very helpful. I mean, you might not do your own taxes, but at least you understand what your tax accountant is going to talk to you about or things like that. Finance, know how to like manage a bit of your money. Marketing, know how to sell yourself or sell your products. So yeah, Jennifer, I agree with you. Getting some of that stuff in there goes a long way.
So do I. I have a fine arts degree, but I took an accounting class and I took a management class, and both have served me well in whatever I did because, let's be honest, number crunching is an important thing no matter where you are in any job, right?
Yeah. So Amani, hey, good to see you. Glad you could join up. The question is Croatia a good idea to go with 23-month-old and 3.5-year-old? Yeah. Yes, we did that actually a few years ago. So
yeah, they were pretty close to those. Well,
yeah, no, they were like
one was 3,
like 14 months and 4. So yeah, no, just about to turn 4. So yeah, you're fine. It'll be fun. Though the beaches, there's a lot of rock beaches there, which is fine with little kids because they're not heavy enough that the pebbles hurt them. But you need to make sure you have aqua socks or water shoes because we're bigger people in it.
Mm-hmm. Like, and also little babies like to eat things like that.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah, I forgot about that. Let's see. No problem, Simon. I'm glad we can answer. Love San Diego. Can you go have some carne asada fries for me? Just like have a bite and say, this is for you, Mark, and then and just say thanks.
Why do Americans call university college? when in pretty much every other country, college refers to high school. So here's the thing. We have universities.
But then why do you call it high school? Because in German, Hochschule is actually a
high
different
school.
kind of, but it's not high school. That's yeah.
So here's the thing. In America, we have universities. University is a technical term that means that they give out
PhDs and masters.
Masters and
masters, at least masters.
They have to give out at least a master's. So a college might be a school that just does bachelor's degrees. So it's strictly undergrad. And so that's why we have a college, and then we have universities.
And
so
what you'll see is
some answer.
Yeah, and sometimes what you'll see is that there's actually colleges within the university.
Mm-hmm.
So like I teach at the Geese College of Business, which is in the University of Illinois. And so you'll have those kind of under school. So it's like a smaller section of the stuff. So yeah.
Well, and doesn't Cambridge and stuff, they have a college, this college and that college and whatever within Cambridge, right? Like, and
I don't know. I can't tell you. Sorry, I don't know.
I'm thinking about some friends that went there. Anyway, yeah. Okay.
So, Catherine, I'm glad it makes perfect sense. Off the beaten track, how's the outlook for international marketing job-wise?
Oh, there's that one
Depends.
website that you can look at that is strictly business jobs abroad. What the heck is that? Acadius?
Well, that's for business academic jobs.
Oh, it's only academic.
So, marketing ones, I usually say because I get a lot of students because they'll study abroad for a semester and come back say I want to work abroad. Usually after about 6 months, that kind of fades a little bit. But one thing I say is if you want to work internationally, you find a company that has international offices, and then, like in your search and your job like review, and when you're applying, you bring that up. Like, how likely is it that I can get sent abroad or something like that? Because with all the Zoom technology and the Skyping and stuff like that, a lot of the international travel is really cut back. So, yes, that can be a bit tough. Okay, Trini, hey, Mark and Joss, I know you mentioned in the past you guys don't have cable, but do you guys subscribe to YouTube TV? If so, how do you guys like it? No, we don't subscribe to YouTube TV because I don't think it's worth it, to be honest. So they don't offer enough stuff for it. And now that YouTube TV is basically all their like YouTube premium stuff, they're now making it all available on normal YouTube. I'm like, why were people paying all that extra money forever for it? So there's that. Good morning from San Diego. Sure. You better be drinking some of that fantastic, like 300 different microbreweries there. Oh, my goodness. Let's see. Hey, American Idiot, I really appreciate you show lesser-known places in foreign countries. So many people just visit the tourist locations. I'm glad we can do that. And we kind of do both because we know that you can still have to see Paris, but we want you to see Bordeaux or Strasbourg or something like this as well, which aren't actually that small. But
Hi, Rob.
Oh, Rob from Tripex, DC, my buddy. Always love my Rob. Yeah. He's a good guy. Sean, we're doing well.
Amani said, okay, Croatia it is then. Is it stroller friendly? My friends are asking me to wait a couple years, but I want to go.
You don't have to wait. It's stroller friendly. You're fine.
It's stroller friendly
stone
enough.
Everywhere.
There are some places where there are a lot of steps, but you know what? With the little one, you might just get the front pack of Baby Bjorn or something similar, and tote them around in that when you have to. And
hey, I got to use these to carry the stroller up the steps too. So you know.
Yeah, there's that. To get, what I would say is we often would get an inexpensive, but look that they have good wheels, like an umbrella stroller, and but make sure they have pretty good wheels. Like we had a Kiko one that wasn't terribly inexpensive, but it was really lightweight, and that thing went all over the place. That did the whole summer that we spent in Beijing and stuff, and it held up really well, but it's lightweight and small. So it's easy to pack up and shove under the bed at your hotel room. So
Trini asked a question. Jocelyn, have you thought about starting your own YouTube travel channel, maybe geared towards females? I truly believe it can be very successful, way more successful than Mark's.
She didn't say that.
Oh, she didn't? Oh, I could have sworn she said that.
Thanks, Trini, for throwing me under the bus. Mark would like me to do that. I don't want to have my own channel. I just want to do it on Mark's channel. So why can't I do that?
Which is fine.
Why is that a thing?
and that's the thing is because just like like the Professor Wolters Channel has got. I mean, it's growing a little bit by little bit. I mean, it takes a long time to grow to a point where you can do things with it. So I mean, if she wants to, I have no problem. But the thing is,
here's the other thing is we can slip in my videos, like one a week or a couple.
One a week.
Okay, a month.
What, a quarter maybe?
So I'm getting better about it.
I know you are. I really appreciate this. It's awesome.
So we can slip my videos in here and there, but I can't handle the criticism. I go read the comments on my shoe video. I was just trying to give people like 5 ideas that I kind of live by, and I travel a little bit, and I mean, really truly, I spend like at least 5 months of the year traveling abroad, so I think I know what I'm talking about. But holy cow, people made some really mean comments, and I just can't handle. I can't handle it.
Yeah, like
I have a heart, and people break it.
Yeah, I mean, I've been doing this longer than she has, and I'm kind of like, the trolls and their comments kind of roll off my back, but still sometimes they get me. But I'll be honest, the trolls that are mean to me, the trolls that are mean to her are like way meaner. Like trolls on women on YouTube, it's real. When people say people are horrible to women on YouTube, I understand why there's a lot fewer female YouTubers than there are,
So I just like to slip in and put stuff in with his, and partially because we have so many subscribers on that channel that I feel like there are people who are in our court, and so sometimes they take up for me when people are ugly, though, and that makes me feel so much better about what I've done and not second guess myself. Do you hear Liam downstairs?
Yeah, he's having fun. So I tell you what, I will put together a Jocelyn videos only playlist. I'll do that this afternoon. So there'll be a just Jocelyn videos, and her amazing, awesome, spectacularness.
Trini, and all of you ladies, Catherine, and Naomi, all of you who are writing in, if you have specific questions you want me to answer in video form, go ahead and write us wherever. You can do it on here. I'll get a pen and take notes if you're going to do that. But just let me know some topics that you want me to cover from a woman's perspective, and I'm happy to do it.
Or you can go to Jocelyn at Jocelyn Wolters World on Instagram.
Oh, on Instagram, you can certainly DM me on
DM
there.
On there. There's one up here. Henrik, I follow a lot of YouTube channels. It's amazing how many people actually have made a business out of it. YouTube, Patreon sites, sponsors. Looks so easy, but a very hard work before it works. It's a lot of work. I mean, it is an insane amount of work to do all these things, to run all these channels. Like, I respect all YouTubers, no matter how big or small, because I know what it's like. I mean, running 2 channels. I mean, it's 2 full-time jobs, and it takes a lot of time, and it takes a lot of energy.
Time.
Yeah,
it's time consuming.
And that's why if you can find ways to save time, find other people like Jocelyn's now she's going to be doing all the merchandise and all the kind of stuff for our travel, goods and stuff like that.
Stay tuned. There's going to be a lot of stuff coming out, hopefully. Well, we've got some mid-October that'll be launching on our Shopify account. But I've got another little thing that I'm working on, and hopefully we'll get that up in the spring, early spring. And then, y'all, I am really trying to work on this thing. I want to get some soccer balls out there.
No.
What? I can't talk about it yet? Okay, I can't talk about it yet.
Yeah, you need to not talk about that. So
it's a surprise!
Surprise we're working on, okay? So, Kate will agree with taking accounting. Also, I think if possible, getting them to do a study abroad is huge. My kids went to school in Berlin, southern France, and South Africa. Had a huge impact on their lives. I agree. That's really cool. But also, I agree that it really does impact. Like, I'm a super proponent of study abroad. I actually take a group of students usually once a year or once every other year from my university. Like, one year I did like 3 because I really want students to have a chance. And the thing is, in college now, there's not just like a semester or a year abroad. Sometimes they have short term, like 10 days or 2 weeks, like spring break or Thanksgiving break or winter break, they'll go. Because not every student wants to go for 6 months to Spain. They're like, you know what, I just want a little trip. And I've had students who are like, look, that was good. I just want to try it. I'm good. And so it could be financial reasons too. So if you get a chance, I really do recommend it as well.
Sean,
and thank you, Jared Serrano. I'm glad you get some merch when we get up there. That's right. Oh, I won't forget us fluffy guys.
Sean McNamara, I'm from the USA. The only other countries I've been to are Canada and Brazil. Which country should I go to next? Was thinking of a European country. Well, I've got a couple of ideas for you, but first, for me, the first country I went to in Europe was Greece because that's where my heritage was from, and I'm half Greek, and so my dad and I went and did like a month in Greece, and it was amazing. And so, you may, if you have a close cultural tie in your family, you might want to do something like that. And then there's 2 other options in my book is you either go to a place where you can explore like a lot, like you go to the UK and you spend a week to 10 days and you see a lot of different areas.
Drive around.
Ireland is very similar to that. Or you can go somewhere like maybe you pick a place like Strasbourg, France, but then you can see a bunch of stuff in Germany and France, or somewhere where you can kind of hop around and get kind of some flavor of different places all at one time. So those would be my suggestions.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Okay, Jennifer Olsen. What?
I said thanks, Imani. She was just being
okay. Hi, starting in Munich, been to Prague, Budapest, and Vienna areas looking for new direction to do solo travels. So, Lori, I would say if you can hit close by Nuremberg, Bamberg, Regensburg in Germany, go down to Innsbruck in Austria, or over to Salzburg in Austria. Those are all easy day trips or a little bit longer trips you can do from Munich. Very easy to do. You can even get farther down and go into past Innsbruck, going down to northern Italy. And not a lot of people go to a lot of those northern Italian towns where they actually speak German. So it's kind of a funny thing there that's worth checking out. Jennifer Olsen, thank you for writing. I love your videos. Thank you very much. I think she's talking to you. In the travel genre, do you think your style video is easier to manage and edit? You're a great speaker, and it seems like you must not have a lot of editing. So one of the things, that's one of the reasons why I had this, the one go thing.
More editing on mine.
Yes, there's a bit more editing on Jocelyn's, but it's not that bad. But where my edits is like, because let's say the video is 15 minutes long, I might have the actual file will be about 20 minutes long. So I got to cut out all the ums and mess ups and stuff like that, or when someone comes by, or the car goes by, or if I restart a part, I'll edit those things out. So that makes it a bit easier to do. But the long time it takes is putting in the text, like in the videos, and putting the overlay pictures and the video and the B-roll. That's what takes a long time to figure out, like, what's gonna work here. I'm trying to get better with that. So now when we travel around, I'll actually film like, ooh, this will be a good 10-second part to put in a video here, and I'll do that. So the newer videos is a bit easier to do, but the older videos, man, it's tough, especially when it's just like pictures. That's a real pain. That's why in the Professor Wolters videos, I don't do any B-roll. It's just me talking with the text, because then I can put them out, because I have we have videos coming out scheduled until the end of the semester. There's 3 or 4 videos coming out every day, and I want to do that next semester as well, because I want to have if there's any basic marketing topic out there, I want a video on there that people can listen to. But you can listen to it, or you can just watch it, or you can just listen to it. Like if you're at the gym and you're working out, you can listen and just have it on and not really have to pay attention, but you can still learn that way. So,
Jason just got back from doing the full ring road in Iceland. I am so glad you did the full thing. It is outrageous good, and I hope that other people get to do it. So Lori's back with her question about where she's staying, but I want to just really quick, because I've got to go pick up Caleb. I just want to give Naomi a shout out, because she is doing a triple major extramurally while traveling. Sister, you got balls. That's awesome. Video on best libraries or open universities in some places would be amazing. I'll leave that to you, but I want you to answer Lori's question. And kids, I got to go get Caleb, so hugs.
I did answer Lori's question.
Oh, you did?
Yes, I talked about all the places
I was reading.
Sorry, Lori.
So much attention.
Yes. So
I'm sorry. Bye, kids. Yeah. See you later.
Yeah. So now, okay. So
hey, bye. Love you.
Love you too. See you later. So my battery's getting low anyway too, but I'll give you guys another 12 minutes, and I'm gonna have to die, because we're at. Well, I'll see what my battery says. I have 14% remaining, and my plug's somewhere in the house with too many kids. They've taken my stuff. So Naomi, the university kind of stuff. Open universities, what I actually recommend is if you go to public libraries, if you're looking to study, I like public libraries with a good pair of headphones. That's what I do. We actually do speaking engagements at public libraries, because we really believe in the public library system anywhere around the world. So if we're going to go someplace, I'll reach out to their local library, hey, we can do a free talk if you guys want to bring more people to the library, because you have space. There's usually workspace. You can put your stuff out. They have desks there. I find that's helpful. So if you go to universities, you might want to look for the university library in general. That's how many things I usually do. Todd Boothby, how long does it take you guys to get to know a place beyond heady first impressions? How to speed it up? So a lot of our videos are places we've been to multiple times. So that's why we come out with more and more videos on things like, hey, we found more stuff out. And so what I'll do is I will read everything I can about there. I'll read blogs, I'll watch videos. I got the like Lonely Planet book or Fromers or Photos or Rick's Tees. I'm reading all these things, trying to get everything in. Like, okay, I'm doing all my research beforehand. And then when I go there, I'm like, wait, but I'm not going to let them define what I think this place is. And so when we get there, I'm like, I kind of know what to expect, but I'm like, no, I'm going to let it happen to me. Because that's where you end up having a lot of guidebooks that sound like they're saying the exact same thing, because they kind of, not necessarily copy off each other, but they've kind of prepared each other to copy off each other. Like, you know what? I'm going to give myself my own impression here. And so I do that. And sometimes, like, if I know I'm going to go to a place, like if I'm going to teach somewhere and I'm going to be there for a couple weeks, sometimes I only like look like what are the top sites, and I don't look at anything beforehand. I go and kind of experience the culture for a week, and then I'll do my research afterwards. Like, okay, does what's out there fit with what I've seen on this blank slate? And I'll do that. Okay. Social Pants. Love your videos and appreciate your content. How many months out of the year do you guys travel? About 5 months, 6 months out of the year. So we're gone quite often. Luckily, we have friends and people that like to house sit for us. So that's helpful. Donnie DiCapario. What are your favorite places in Brazil? I'm also considering Colombia. We also are looking at Colombia. But for Brazil, for me, I like the Pantanal, which is the swamplands in the south of Brazil. Like Bonito is good for ecotourism, but my favorite place is probably Minas Gerais. That state, I like going to Ouro Preto, just really cool historic colonial town while we're checking out. Okay. Let's see. American Idiot. Is there any countries you haven't been to yet which you would love to visit? Yes. Egypt, which we're going to next summer. Israel, which we're going to later this year. New Zealand, which we're going to next year. Where else is there? There's the the Vietnam, Cambodia, Laos, Thailand, that Southeast Asia thing want to go to. We're trying to figure out a time to get there where it's not, monsoon rainy season, because that's when we can go when the kids have time, but I'm not going there when it's those times. And that's one of the things is people get really upset with, why don't you have videos from this place? I'm like, because when I can go is when you do not want to go there. Like, you do not want to go to the Philippines when it's the rainy season, because you're just going to be miserable. So you want to go at the right time of year, but it's hard with the kids. So there are those kind of things. MMXX, will you do a video in Puerto Rico? My wife has one from before. She did a 511 Hates there when she went there. That was her impressions of her place. Her time there, she really enjoyed it. I'm sure we'll get back down there. I'll make some new videos for down there too. Let's see. I missed some other ones up there. Henry Martinez. Hey, buddy. Mark, can you talk more about many ATM machines around Europe in which they're offering tourists a bad exchange rate to withdraw cash, which costs them a lot of money in the long run? Is it a scam? So Henry, that is scam number one on our Scams the UK video, which came out today on our Wolters World channel. I'm seeing this more and more in not just in ATMs, but at restaurants and banks and stores. And what will happen is you'll use your credit card and you'll swipe your credit card, and then it'll come up, would you like to pay in US dollars, because I have a US dollar account, or in euros? And I'll be like, well, the thing is that if you pick US dollars, they choose the exchange rate, and they're going to give you a bad exchange rate. And I've been in some of them that literally it was a 20% difference between what the bank offered me versus what the official rate was. And so actually I have a video. I've actually had the pictures. I just had to put it together, where I showed when I was in Prague. I did also in Budapest. I'm like, look, this is the rate they were offering me. But I'm going to take the local currency, and then I've got my bank statement to show the difference. You're like, my God, that's like 20%. I'm like, yeah. Sometimes it's like 10%. I know when we were in Ireland, we went to one, and I mean, the difference was only like 1%, so it wasn't really that big of a deal. So it's like kind of like, okay, that's what probably would have gone for. But the thing is there's enough times where you get ripped off for that you do not ever want to take the conversion in your home currency. You say, no, charge me in the local currency in that country and let your bank back home deal with it. Because your bank, think about it, if they screw you over in Ireland and you go back home, are you going to go back to Ireland and complain? No, you're going to complain to your bank at home. So just have your bank deal with it. So that's what I would say going that one. Okay. So I hope that helps, Henry. Let's see. Donnie, last question, Mr. Wolters. I want to avoid getting mugged in Mexico. Someone told me to have a dummy wallet and a phone. Have you tried this? I have done things like that. Like when I went to Brazil and I lived there, I always had I had a crappy phone, and then I just had some cash in my front two pockets. So if someone robbed me, I can just give them money and we'd be done. So some people do that. If it's really important to you, don't take it with you. Like, I don't take wedding rings when we travel. Jocelyn doesn't wear her wedding ring just in case. So to make yourself less muggable, because I mean, muggings happen. Sometimes it's just bad luck. There's nothing you can do, but you want to make yourself less attractive. So you're not walking around with lots of bling on. You're not trying to show all kind of money. You're not flashing cash. You're not wearing all the fanciest dresses and clothes and stuff like that. That's going to help you there. But also not walking around going, oh, where do I need to go? These kind of things make a difference. Yes. Oh, she's still here. I guess we're not getting Caleb?
No, they went to the trampoline park. So they got a little more time.
Oh, cool.
So hi, I'm back.
She's back. But our batteries! Oh, no! Well, the thing is if this thing falls, oh my gosh, we got the warning lights coming on too.
So I want to say something on that safety bit about not getting mugged. So too, when you're not at home, anything. So like we leave our wedding rings, but we put them in a safe deposit box in the bank. So having that little extra layer of protection, there's really nothing in our home that's like, worth much of anything. I mean,
like they look in our house, like they're like, oh, yeah, you got a
lot of books.
You got a 32-inch TV that no one would ever want. Yeah, I'm like, that's
like 8 years
old. 8
old.
years old. So and like for our my videos and stuff, I actually have external drives that I put in there as well, because I'm like, look, if the house burns down, I don't want to lose all my video stuff, and because some people say, well, put it in the cloud. I don't necessarily trust the cloud, and it's so big a file. So
yeah, so just think about that so that you're safe at home too. When you're gone, that your home is safe. So there you go.
Yeah. So my battery's about to die, so we'll go finish off with Tony. Oh, MacGyver's won. I'm doing okay, man. Thank you very much. Johnny, Dr. Wolters, who has the best pyramids? Guatemala, Mexico, or Egypt? Man, they are all fantastic. You can't go wrong. You can't go wrong with any of them, so I can't say that. Thanks, Henry, for the kind words, buddy. Sean, I have been to Romania. If you're going to go to Romania, go to the Transylvania part. That is the part to check out. That's the gorgeous part to check out.
Thanks, Henry. Yeah. Okay, Tony, this cracks me up. Professor Wolters, in general, would you say it is safe for a healthy single male with a vicious Rottweiler to drive from Mexico to Costa Rica?
Keep in mind, I don't speak fluent Spanish. The problem is with a vicious Rottweiler, that might actually cause you more problems than you actually want. We've met people that have actually driven down there. You just got to be careful. Don't drive at night. Don't drive anywhere near night. Have the cash to pay off you don't pay people off, but sometimes you do need to pay some people off to get through certain spots. So
sometimes you just have to grease the wheels.
Yes. And last one, Jocelyn.
Catherine C. Has Jocelyn ever traveled solo? Not really. I always take a friend. I mean, I don't really go alone. I go without you. And I'll go down to visit my sister in Florida or something like that. Like I'll go to visit.
Traveling alone.
That's not traveling alone because I go home to Savannah all the time on my own. But generally speaking, not really. I usually take a girlfriend or something just because I enjoy being with people. So yeah.
I mean, I'll travel alone sometimes. Because I when I go to film places, think about if it's just me going, it's a lot cheaper than all four of us going.
Or if you're speaking at a conference or something like that, Mark often has to do conference stuff, and so that might be on his own. So anyway.
Oh, cool! Naomi sent you a DM on Instagram about New Zealand.
Oh, good.
Cool. All right,
cool.
Last one. We'll do one more. New Mexico 798133. Sounds like a song name. If there's no safe in the hotel, do you keep passports on you or hide them in the hotel room and suitcase? This depends on the hotel I'm staying in and where I'm going.
Where you are.
So if it's a hotel, if I'm not sure about the hotel, I'm keeping that stuff on me at all times.
And also put a lock on your suitcase. God, why couldn't I get that word out? I
know, because Jesus Christ is on here.
What?
Yes, Jesus Christ is on here. Thank you, Jesus. We appreciate all you've given for us and your birthday, how we get cool. we get presents. That's very nice. And thank you for smashing the like button. Thank you. Anyway, okay, we got to take off. The battery's literally blinking at me now. I got the warning sign, and we've been doing this for an hour and a half.
It's gonna die.
I really like this kind of more intimate, smaller group.
Thank you. Thanks for joining us.
So thanks for joining us. And those of you that wanted to have the more Professor Wolters questions, I'm sorry there wasn't a lot of those, but don't worry, we can have those next time, because I know Henrik Vind, he likes to throw them out there, so I really like his questions and questions about YouTube and stuff like that. And hugs to Denmark, my friend. We will get back there one day. An American Idiot, see you later. I'm glad we can answer your questions. And everybody's question we sent, I'm glad we can help out.
I wonder if that's the guy from Green Day. Okay, hugs.
You never know. Bye.
Bye.